So we're now going to work on getting the core connection with some leg movements, and this is a little bit more challenging. Our legs weigh more than our arms, so it is easier to do arm movements first, but once you feel that the arm movements are manageable and you're able to maintain this core activity and strength while you're moving your arms, then you can progress on to these leg movements. Now these leg movements, we're going to start off with moving one leg at a time. Just because if we're moving both legs at the same time, it puts a lot more stress and strain onto the core, and if you're not ready for it, it can pull and strain into your back, which can feel quite uncomfortable. So we're going to build up the process to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing before you move the legs. What we're going to do is get your diamond shape onto your pelvis, and you're going to rock forwards and backwards until you can find where that neutral pelvis is. And you're just thinking of that glass of water resting in your diamond. You want that glass of water nice and parallel and flat with the floor. You're then thinking about your breathing techniques. So you're just going to check there that you can breathe into those ribs, and then as you exhale, you're going to draw the ribs together and down towards the opposite hip. And then breathing in, letting it open out. And then as you breathe out, drawing in and down towards the opposite hip. Once you feel like you've got this, you can place your hands down by your side with the palms facing downwards into the floor. Now that will give you a little bit of support and make it a little bit easier for you initially. But just be careful of your shoulders. Don't let the shoulders hunch up towards the ears. You want to slide the shoulders down and away from your ears as if you're tucking your shoulder blades underneath your bra strap. Excellent. Now in this position here, we're going to inhale to prepare. And then we're going to exhale to draw the ribs into opposite hips, connecting the rib cage to the pelvis, and then lifting the one knee up into a tabletop position. Now that tabletop position is like your calf is resting on a coffee table, and you hold that position for the inhale, and then exhale, get the tension and the connection before you drop that leg, and slowly lower it down, keeping the tension until the foot is on the floor. So we'll try this with the left leg again, inhaling to prepare, exhaling, getting that connection and tension, lifting the leg. Good, inhaling while it's there. Exhaling, tightening, getting that connection and dropping the knee back, the foot back down. Excellent. Now one thing you've got to watch out for is on your diamond you've got your glass of water. Now previously we've been talking about not letting the water drip forwards or backwards. Now because we're moving one leg and not the other, we're causing a pressure difference from one side of the pelvis to the other. So you've got to think of your glass of water still being nice and flat and level, so you're still in neutral pelvis, but you're not allowing that water to drip to either side. So let's try that again. We're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, drawing the ribs down to the hips, getting the tension, lifting the leg into that tabletop position. Inhaling while you're there. And then exhaling, getting the tension, and then dropping the leg back down, keeping that glass of water nice and still. And the same thing on the other side, inhaling to prepare. Exhaling, drawing the ribs to the hips, feeling that tension to lift the leg. Inhaling while you're there. And then exhaling, getting the tension and then dropping down. And you can repeat that 5 to 10 times on each side. Now you may feel that you want to focus on one leg first, so you might do 5 to 10 repetitions just on the one leg, or alternatively you can alternate from one leg to the other, just keeping an eye on, you do 1 and then 1, 2 and then 2, and just keep alternating so that you're keeping things nice and equal on each side. Now some of you might find that, especially if you lift and carry toddlers or babies onto one hip, you might find that the connection between one hip and one rib cage is a little bit strained and stretched, so you might need to just be a little bit more aware of that. So if for instance you're lifting and carrying onto your left hip, potentially that left rib cage may not be as well connected into the right hip. So when you're going to move either leg, you may well just need to be much more aware of that connection between that specific rib cage and that specific hip. So just making sure you're drawing in a little bit stronger through that line. But work at it, aim for 5 to 10 repetitions of these alternate tabletop exercises, and eventually you'll be able to progress on to double tabletops and tabletop toe taps.